All right, guys, we've been tracking now for months the coal miners who are on strike down in Alabama. Those are Warrior Met miners who have been trying just to get back to what they had before that company declared bankruptcy. In their struggle, they have taken on everyone from the company directly to BlackRock that basically owns the company at this point, taking trips up to New York that were quite incredible to see. Joining us now to give us an update on the strike and the strikers themselves is Haeden Wright. She is UMWA Auxiliary President for Locals 2245 and 2368. It is so great to see you, Haeden, and so great to meet you.
It's wonderful to be here this morning. We're actually out at the strike pantry. We're getting ready to hand out Christmas bags, pantry bags, and Christmas turkeys for our families here on strike. So we'll be giving about 350 bags out today and turkeys out today. So we're really excited for that. We just wrapped up a Solidarity Santa and Christmas event that was only possible thanks to other workers and the labor movement and all of you amplifying our strike and our message, because it really has been a media blackout here in Alabama. So it's only thanks to people like all of you.
That's one of the things that, has made us try to pay so much attention to what is going on down there. Listen, we give coverage to all the strikes that are cropping up across America, and it's encouraging to see how many workers are taking power into their own hands. But you all have been out for months now. I mean, I think this might be the longest going strike in the country right now. How is everybody holding up?
Yeah, so we've been on strike since April 1st, so we're actually into the 9th month, and it's the holidays, which always makes things a little bit more difficult and a little bit more stressful. We're holding really strong. We have had very few members cross when you look at how long we've been out on strike, because being on strike is not easy. It's not an easy thing that you do, and it's not easy for your families, and especially when we are in a right-to-work state. So we have seen since the beginning the company being allowed to bust in scabs. And even more of a slap in the face is seeing the state troopers that are paid for a lot of times by taxpayer dollars that we're paying into, escorting them in to work, to take union jobs, to take our jobs. So I think it's really kind of strengthened our resolve that we're ready to fight for as long as it takes.
Just let's remind people here of just the very bare minimum of what you and your families are asking for here. It's not a lot in terms of what these workers are on strike for. Just outline that for the audience.
Okay, so we're on an unfair labor practices strike, and we went on strike April 1st against a bankruptcy contract. So when Walter Energy filed for bankruptcy and rebranded itself as Warrior Met Coal, we took massive concessions. Over $6 an hour in pay was cut. We lost our 100% healthcare coverage and went to an 80-20 plan with about a $750 deductible per person. When you factor that into the lost income, that's huge for families. We went from being able to spend holidays with our families to we have 3 physical holidays off a year under this last contract. Our families were together on Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, and Christmas Day, and that was it. The rest of the time, the guys were giving like a floating holiday that they were paid for where they were home by themselves while the rest of us were back at work, the kids were back at school. So all we're wanting is for them to address those issues, that we want to be able to actually not only earn a livelihood, but have a life with our families. So we're just asking to get back what we lost 5 years ago. So we're not even asking for anything more than that. We all know that inflation and everything else has increased. We're just wanting close to what we had 5 years ago.
Seem like too much to ask whatsoever, especially when Warrior Met is backed by some really big pockets. One of the things that we have found so inspiring about the action that you all have taken is you've taken your fight all the way up to New York City, protesting outside of the headquarters of BlackRock. They are, part owners now of Warrior Met Coal. Let's take a look at what that looked like on the streets.
$dollars from each one of you, and not just you. They stole it from you. They stole it from the healthcare system. They stole it to the mom and pop shops that we're supposed to be supporting. Now, I'm a patriotic American, and I think that we hear things like that all the time.
Haeden, our producer here yesterday, said that whatever those politics are of coal miners protesting outside of BlackRock, that is the political ideology he affiliates with, and I think that we feel the same.
Yes.
Talk about what that experience was like and why it was so important to go and take the fight to BlackRock.
Yeah, so myself and my husband actually went. Amy, that's actually another auxiliary member, she actually went. Her husband wasn't able to go. She went with us as well, and she's actually here with me in the pantry. So it was incredible to go and actually rally with our other union brothers and sisters across the country to show people that unions aren't just divided by your abbreviations. Unions are going to stand and fight together every time one of our membership is in trouble. And as we've been fighting here in Alabama with the UMWA, it's been all of our other unions, all of our other supporters that have been there every step of the way, providing aid. What can we do to help? Actually, right outside the door right now, I'm looking at USW workers that are coming in, and they've brought turkeys for families. They're unloading a couple more toy donations for ones that couldn't make it to the event this past Sunday. That's what solidarity is. And that's what people who decide to scab, that's what people that aren't familiar with unions, that have never been a part of that type of organization, don't understand. Is that it's not just your union that's standing behind you and protecting you. It's not just about your wind garden rights that protect you from the boss being able to fire you because they don't like you. It's giving you this entire community that's ready to fight for you and protect you, and they care about you and your family.
That's amazing.
That's really amazing.
Haeden, why do you think it is that the media has paid so little attention to this strike? Because, look, we've followed the polling with regards to the American people standing alongside workers who are striking, Kellogg's, John Deere, and some of the other large strikes that have gotten more media attention. So the American people are on your side. Why do you think that there has been so little media interest in what's going on for you?
I really believe it's because the mainstream media and the people that own it. Most mainstream media is owned by these big corporations, the same ones that backs all of these other places. And it's kind of scary sometimes when you see workers of all different races, ethnicities, political affiliations, religions standing together, and they're fighting for a common purpose, and they're fighting for the greater good of everyone. And that's something that can make people stop and think, and they're like, look, they're not divided at all. They're standing together, and they're completely solid, and they're making a difference. And that's something that can make people question what they're told and what they see. So I think for us here in Alabama, it's been disheartening to see the lack of support from places that maybe most people thought we would see it, like from Trump and KIV and some of the Republican leadership that haven't come out. And then we have gotten a lot of support from like Alabama Democrats that have come and give donations. They've been to the rallies. It's been kind of eye-opening. And there's a misconception of Warrior Met, like people having sympathy for this multi-million-dollar company, and then for BlackRock, that is a billion-dollar empire that has their hands in everything. That, oh, well, the Green Deal and clean energy, they're probably afraid to give y'all a good contract. That's completely irrelevant here because we mine metallurgical coal. We mine zero thermal coal that's used for energy. The coal that we mine here in Alabama is used to produce steel. You have to have it in the production of steel. So when you're talking about infrastructure and building back better and doing all of these things, creating solar panels, creating windmills, green energy, you have to have our product. They're highly profitable at over $400 a ton right now. So the company isn't hurting. They're just wanting to exploit workers.
It is so well said, and thank you for educating all of us and our audience on that point. We've been encouraging people to give to your strike fund. We're going to make a contribution as well. And Haeden, please keep us in the loop of what's going on so we can continue to highlight the really courageous struggle that you all are engaged in down there in Alabama and also in New York City and across the country too.
That's right. Thank you so much, Haeden. We appreciate you so much.
Merry Christmas,
Thank you so
Haeden.
much. Do you want a quick view of the pantry?
Yeah,
yes.
Let's see. Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Wow, you guys have been busy.
Hey guys.
Actually, Haeden, one last question. What's community support been like? I know that labor movement support has been really strong. Alabama, obviously conservative state, so you said right to work state. How have local people been reacting though?
It really depends on the area. So when you think about Brookwood, Alabama, this is where mostly the bosses live. Like when we're in the heart of Brookwood, Most of our miners and stuff live in our surrounding communities, like West Blockton. UMWA took first place with their float in the West Blockton Christmas Parade. They were very supportive. They were cheering them on. They were like, keep fighting. When we've been out like in Hoover and places, shopping for the stuff for our kids, and they've seen us in our camo, when we were with the group of USW workers that came down from East Chicago to go with us to get stuff for Christmas, people were coming up and asking. They're like, thank y'all for what you're doing. We support you. So we have had a lot of support. And locally, people giving clothing donations. That's where that's come from. But a lot of our support has been from our other unions and other workers really across the country. It hasn't just been a localized, isolated thing here for us.
Well, Haeden, thank you again. We'll support you in whatever way that we can. And please keep us updated with everything that's going on.
We're with you. Thank you, Haeden. Thank you guys so much for watching. As you can see, that's the most important thing that's on our mind right now. We're supporting them. We're giving them $25,000. If you guys can support them in any way that you possibly can, we're going to have a link down there in the description. You can see what they're up against. They're not asking for a lot. They're asking for what they were owed in 2016. Just think about that in the holiday season. And, you know, if you could support us so we could support them and bring you the news, we welcome that as well. Linked in the description. We love you all. Happy holidays.
Haeden is amazing.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Blown away by that.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate you so much. We'll see you again soon. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching.
That's right. Just as a reminder, you can become a premium subscriber today. Watch the full show completely uncut, our reactions to each other's monologues. You get to listen to it. You get to ask us questions, all that good stuff. Link is right there in the description or at breakingpoints.com.
Best of all, great way to say screw you to the mainstream media.